It happened again last week. I've been mowing this particular lawn. I've got a little gardening business for about a year, and it's only a small lawn. It's not a huge amount of money, but I mowed it every fortnight, and I found out that it had been sold, and so I wasn't able to go and get that to do that lawn. A door had closed as such, a financial door, a door that provided me a little bit of money every fortnight to come into my bank account. Now, look, I have had this happen many, many times. Clients turn over, properties sell, these sorts of things happen all the time. And through a lot of experience of this, I have learned that often another door opens, maybe in a few days or in a week's time. Another door opens, another opportunity expresses itself. And I'm going to share what happened, which was amazing, at the end of this post. But previously, when I started to experience this sort of door closing, I used to really fret and worry. And to some degree, I still do it, triggers off memories and things. But now I've learnt to, I ask, I seek, I knock, and then I watch and wait. And I just immediately go to prayer and submit it to God. And look, I've had some major doors close in my life, and probably you have too. You've probably had relationship doors close on you. Perhaps you're the one that actually closed the door. Perhaps others have closed the door on you. Maybe they have even closed the door, bolted it, locked it, thrown away the key. Maybe you have done that to others. Maybe you had to do that to find a sense of safety. But now you look at that door and there's kind of a sense of loss, a sadness. Sometimes you might see that door and there's like a party going on, there's light coming in from underneath, but you're not invited. Maybe the closed door is a death. There's the grief of losing a loved one. I think of someone I know recently who had lost someone they loved. And it's feeling the warmth and even the impression of the other person's body in the shared bed, but knowing they're gone. And like there's a song of lament going on out just outside the closed door. You see, even in life, there can be death, can be a death. And so we enter into this, what I call it, it's a transitional time, a liminal space, the now and not yet. And we don't know quite how to pray. Um, so, can I pray angry prayers? Yes, you can. Can I be rude and annoying to God? Yes, you can. I give you permission. Can you be like a petulant child that throws their toys out of the cot at God? Yes, you can. Can I sigh and groan, much like what Paul writes in Romans? Yes, you can. Alexander Graham Bell, you probably know him from to do with the invention of the telephone, but he must have experienced a lot of closed doors. Creative people do. They try one thing, door closes. He wrote this, and this is where the quote comes from. When one door closes, another door opens. And then it carries on. But we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones which open for us. And I found another version of what he wrote there, and with some interesting words which are before that quote. And it's interesting for especially those of us who are creative. And it says this: do not always follow the marked path that only leads where others have already gone. When one door closes, another opens, but we mostly look at the closed door with regret for so long that we don't see the one that's open for us. We generally only hear when one door we generally only hear when one door closes, another door opens. And maybe it's said as some sort of encouragement to keep looking forward. And at times, sometimes it can feel like the person saying to it is trying to avoid that awkward feeling of not knowing what to say when someone has lost a job or a contract or a revenue or something. But in the quote, Bell continues on to say, But we mostly look at the closed door with regret for so long that we don't see the one that's open for us. He's pointing to the human tendency to look back and to hold on to things of the past, to lament and to enter a dark hole of regret and loss. Yes, a door has closed, and yes, there is a season to mourn, grieve, lament, and to cry. Ecclesiastes says that for everything there is a season, a time to cry, a time to laugh, a time to grieve, and a time to dance. Maybe there is a time to stop looking at the closed door, to brush off your feet, the dust off your feet, as Jesus said, from being in that place behind that door. Maybe now is the time to listen for the opening of new doors, to not follow the marked path that only leads where others have already gone. All right, that's what Bell was saying. Um, I'm thinking so much about Providence lately, and there's this guy called John Flavel, and I love this quote: "Small boats have but narrow sails." Well, perhaps the providential winds have changed direction. Okay, that door's closed, and you need to change the shape of your sails to find the new breeze. I often think about anxiety and depression being a bit like a pendulum. The pendulum swings, anxiety at a closed door flings our thoughts out to the future, and worry sort of keeps them there. And then depression, uh, it keeps us in what could have been, the mistakes and the failures, the shame and the guilt. And we kind of sit in a liminal space, feelings of uncertainty, disorientation, tension, ghost winds around us, don't they? And we wonder, where will our daily bread come from? Where will I get that money that I was getting from that lawn mowing job? Where will it come from? And we like on a boat that's been becalmed in the doldrums of closed doors. What are we to do? Well, I would suggest we need to ask, seek, and knock. And Jesus tells a parable of a man who had a closed door. All right? Jesus said this, and he said to them, "Suppose one of you has a friend, and you go to him at midnight and say to him, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, for a friend of mine has arrived, and I have nothing to set before him.' And he answers from within, 'Do not bother me, the door has already been locked, and my children are with me. Um, my children are with me in bed. I cannot get up and give you anything.' I tell you, even though he would not get up and give him anything because he is his friend, at least because of his persistent, and I would suggest a better word be impudence, he will get up and give him whatever he needs. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Search, you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened. The door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. Look, I want opened. I want a door to open for me. All right, but what do I want them to open? What do I want to find in that open door? What sort of door do I want open for me? And I always think, be careful what you pray for because you might just get it. And for you may not be ready for what's behind that door. For the man who wanted 3 loaves of bread, basic needs, and then this man, he had the audacity to wake his friend up at midnight and ask for help. He was impotent, shameless, rude, disrespectful, downright cheeky. And because of this attitude, his friend opens the door and gives him whatever he needs. Maybe he gave some butter and some jam as well. Look, in providential prayer, I wait. I ask, I seek, I knock, and I ponder when will the door open? Will I be aware of a door opening? There's a period of time between closing one door and the opening of another. And as you remember, I started off this post about um, losing my small little gardening job. Well, 3 days later, I got a call from someone about mowing another lawn of a similar size But this time I was able to charge double what I charged the other client, and I would have fewer costs. So I submitted a quote, I knocked on the door, I made the ask, and the quote was accepted. And this has been my pattern for a very, very, very long time. A door closes, I ask God for help, I search and wait patiently for new doors to appear, and then I knock and the door opens. And look, it may take time for the house owner to get out of bed, come down, and open the door. The door will open, but instead of 3 loaves of bread, it might be a 3 course meal. Way more than what I wanted, expected, or dreamed of. And I have always found that when a door closes, often the door that opens, eventually, has an extremely good gift behind it. So, this habit of doors closing, doors opening, through that, I am beginning to, or I'm growing my trust in the providential care of God more and more and more. And so I am looking out for opportunities. I'm not so worried about doors closing because I'm starting to see that other doors may open. And my little ship with a narrow sail, well, that's starting to expand and grow out to be a bigger ship with a wider sail. I hope you found this helpful. Email me. I'd love to hear from you. Barry@turningthepage.co.nz. You can read this post if you. There's a link in the show notes. Come over and have a read of it. Sign up to the email list. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until next week, don't be afraid of doors closing. Just wait patiently and see another door open.